drummer from Philadelphia. It's been like great energy since day one. I started out working with Marc back in I think 2016 with Star Kitchen. We did that band for a few years before like the Biscuits got up and rolling, like busy again. Then he didn't really have too much time for Star Kitchen gigs, which is fine because now I'm here. Yes. But yeah, then I got the chance to meet Aron Magner about the time. Did a side project with Barber as well. It was like this very moon project. It's like a musical, really cool. Then we also did another project at Aron Music Hall, which was like Barber Live. Super cool. Had a few of my friends come and play with us. So that kind of started building the bond between me and Barber. Then anytime he had anything going on at home, he wanted to try some stuff out, drum bars or anything, he would kind of call me and see if I was available. So then I would go hang out, and we just kept building from there. And then Magner, we just like in passing the entire time when we did Star Kitchen dates, he had Spaga. So we would kind of like be on the same bill. We got a chance to hang out then a few times when I actually got a chance to also write a few songs with the guys. I want to say it was Freeze, but I know we wrote a couple songs in Marc's basement, which was awesome. So that was another chance to hang out with all the guys at once. And that was kind of like the start of a new beginning. I just didn't realize it yet, but I was just so excited to be with them and work with them that now we're here. I think it was, from obviously telling the story of meeting everybody back in 2016 and throughout the years hanging out. I looked at it more like just building with the guys, hanging with the guys, and just over years, like just side projects, anything like that. But to actually get the call to be with them regularly, kind of mind blown. I would say kind of mind blown. I think it was very surprised. It was just kind of like, oh, these guys really love me. Like, oh, let's do it. Like, let's tour the world together then. Like, let's have a great time. So I think it was, like life-changing for me. So I'm gonna definitely take this opportunity super serious. Thank the guys for even bringing me into the fold. Thank everyone for bringing me onto the team. Glad to be a part of the team. This is an amazing team to be a part of, and I know we're about to take this thing to the moon.
We have been in awe of his playing with his, with the different projects that he's involved with the opportunities that we've had over the years to play with him. He's a drummer that understands the form and the structure and is helping us get to where we need to be. It's hard, right? A band is about being one entity, and we're bringing in a new energy, an exciting energy. But there's those moments where it kind of all comes together. And we're finding that those moments are happening with frequency as we're practicing here. They've been exciting, inspiring. They have been fun and childish and experimental and all the things that we try and be as a band. And I think that we're throwing all of these things out kind of not at once, but and not even deliberately, but we're tossing out these types of vibes that we do, whether it's a musical vibe or whether it's just an emotion of how we're going to interpret this jam. And we've been going through all of those steps in these rehearsals. It doesn't seem to be just getting the songs, which of course it has to be, and we'll get there. And we smile at Marlon and give him the positive reinforcement that was awesome. And I know that there's going to be so many of those moments coming up. My favorite parts in any moment of our creative journey over the decades are those moments where I have an idea that has not been executed, and then together we execute it, and I know the whole time that idea is going to not only come to fruition, but come to fruition the way that we kind of expected it to. And I love that journey, and I love being able to trace that final moment of it happened and that genesis moment. And I feel like this is what the future sounds like. We're getting towards the future. So there it is. I think I see the future.
We played together for 5 years, Marlon and I, and he can play anything. He was during this time, he was going to Atlantic City every weekend and playing along with this DJ at these casino shows. And so we're playing funk. He's in the church playing church music every Sunday, waking up every Sunday morning. We got to get home from our Saturday gig because he's got to get up Sunday and go to church and play there. And then he's playing these house music shows, and holy shit. If I had any question about whether Marlon was capable of fitting in this kind of style of music, this jam band style with 4 on the floor at 145 beats per minute or whatever crazy lunatic shit we do, I was like, man, oh man. Sounds a little bit more like the first iteration of the Disco Biscuits than the second. It has like a little bit more swing in the beats and a little bit beat variation and all kinds of like creative stuff, because we've asked Marlon to come in with a clean slate. Like, you know, we want to hear how you hear it.
So we've spent a lot of time with him. He's been to my house to jam. So my studio's in my basement, for those of you who don't know. And you know, he's been over a ton of times. We've done a lot of different things together. We did a musical together. We did a techno project together. You know, it was just kind of one of those things where everything else we did with him has been so great that why wouldn't that apply to the Biscuits too? I know I have a lot of respect for him. He is a virtuoso player, and but he doesn't get lost in the technique. He like stays in the like the spiritual aspect of the music, and I really like that. So I think he's gonna be a good fit. There's gonna be a little bit of a return to raw instruments, a little bit of a return to kind of playing loose off the click, just keeping it dancey, a little bit less structured, maybe a little bit more jammy. But that's just a hunch. I don't necessarily think we have a roadmap for where it's gonna go. It's hard to do roadmaps because sometimes the detours are the best part. So I don't really think anybody in the band is trying to get anything particular out of our current sound, except for just to play a lot of music and be really open-minded and give everybody a lot of freedom to collab and jam and make it their own. And you know, I've been going back to my old school style of guitar where it's like closed eyes, sing every note. It's a little bit less, you know, structural in the jam, and it's a little bit more like I like to think of it like what Miles Davis used to do, like that kind of approach a little bit. So I've been going back to that. I know the other guys are going a little bit back to basics.
I said last week in a podcast that I was hoping in this like next iteration of Biscuits, whatever, you know, that we could go back a little bit to being more jam band and let Tractor Beam be more electronic, you know, and some people kind of went crazy about that comment and were saying things like we were watching the comments on the actual video that we were doing live. One or two people were like going crazy about the idea that we could possibly do that, but like little by little the band has gotten more and more and more electronic. We've done things with technology that have taken us into a place where almost every jam can be considered in Tractor Beam style. Click is on, ARPs are on, keyboards are playing, everybody's like tied up, but like there's a beauty to turning the click off and like letting the beat breathe and like playing all of the notes and not letting having computers play loops and just no samples, and just there's a beauty to letting these musicians flex their skill as live musicians. And when there's a magic that happens when we're not tied down by technology, there's a beauty to like how we play when the click is not on, because it's like a living organism that's just like changing and molding and like shaping, and I feel like the Biscuits have what's so great about us is that we mix being a jam band with like kind of electronic music, but you know, you can be a little bit too far over towards electronic, or you could be a little too far over towards jam band, and like the beauty of it is the mix of it. And so but in order to have a mix, you need to have that organism like breathe and grow and move and mold and change. And so that can only happen when we're all just playing our instruments. And so we've been doing that a lot in practice, and it's been just incredible. It's so beautiful what has been happening here, and I'm excited to, you know, explore that, because that is what the Disco Biscuits are all about. the compositions. Like, that's the magic. The magic is what happens when we're not composed, when we're just going free. To that regard, you know, I'm thinking that we're gonna end this first tour with a full arsenal of, you know, of songs in our rotation. And there's just been so much magic over the last 20 years with Alan. We've had just an incredible magical run, and there was just so much magic with Sammy, and you know, that's why the Disco Biscuits are here 30 years later, thanks to those two guys, you know, that we exist. And so, you know, cheers to Sammy and cheers to Alan, and I look forward to, you know, Marlon being with us and seeing what kind of heights we reach together.
Get away.